The dream of all Africans is for Africa to be free. The dream of all Black Americans, the dream of all Afro-Caribbeans is to see Africa is free, to see Africa is liberated. And my question today, can Africa work without European Union? Can Africa work without BRICS? That is the question of today, and that's the question that we are going to tackle, or I am going to tackle on this video. And before I dive into the video, I want you to subscribe on my YouTube channel, to share this video, and to like and to comment what you have in your mind. Just comment down there, and let's dive in. Can Africa work without European Union or BRICS? And we are going to see the benefits of Africa working without these groups and the negatives, the positive sides and negative sides of Africa working with these Western blocs.
Remember that Russia is a country that cannot be ignored in terms of technology. They are technologically very advanced. They are military power that cannot be ignored. And even as we speak now, in quite a number of African countries specifically, you'll find the Russians are actually the protectors of some of these regimes. And we have seen that in the Sahel, where the Russians have been very present. I know it is for their own benefit, but it is important to note that when people are in distress, they look for help from those who are willing to help. But I've always said that every country, every people have a reason to define what is in their best interest, and sustainable relationship must be mutually beneficial. So that is the reason why I think people are quick to go to Kazan, but they are very slow to respond to Kiev, which is seen as a lapdog of America and the West. BRICS affords African nations an opportunity to liberate themselves economically. Why do I say so? I say so because the engagements that we have had as a continent with Europe in the early days of African, Caribbean, Pacific, in the old European arrangements, most of those arrangements, financial and otherwise, have been parasitic. They have not helped Africa in a meaningful way. The engagements that we have had with institutions which are Western-based and which African countries have token membership, such as the World Bank or the IMF, have not been beneficial. We will remember the structural adjustment programs in 1980s, from which many African countries have not recovered. All these are bad memories. And I think it is Zambia's Dambisa Moyo in her book Dead Aid who is able to demonstrate to us how those relationships have affected Africa negatively. And another person who demonstrated very ably is the South Korean economist Ha-Joon Chung in his book, The Bad Samaritans. So these bad Samaritans have harmed Africa, and for that reason, African countries are saying, but this new thing called BRICS, perhaps it is the savior. Perhaps it is the Noah's Ark that will save us from the flood that has been occasioned by these Western institutions. Whether that is what will happen is a different debate, but that, in my view, is part of the attraction of BRICS, because they are saying you will participate, you will not be dictated to, and your participation will be meaningful, and you will be people with a real voice in decision making. That is the attraction. And I see many African countries joining BRICS.
So it's true, Africa can work without European Union. Africa can work without Russia, China, India. Africa can work without USA. Africa can work without these countries, because if Africa operate with this without this European Union or without BRICS, we have a lot of benefits that will come through. A lot of benefit. I know that. You see how these countries are coming in our Africa and how they are practicing their exploitation and everything. And we as Africans, we are not benefiting that much. We are not benefiting. Of course, we are suffering a lot because of their presence in our continent. When we work without European Union or BRICS, we will have something we call economic independence. Economic independence, for example, value addition. Africa could focus on processing its raw material locally, creating jobs, and retaining more wealth within the continent. Value will be added to our resources because we will be manufacturing it locally without any interference from the Western countries. Economic independence, it will be good, it will be nice, it will be sweet to work without any interference from the Western powers. And again, we will reduce exploitation because without interference of the foreign powers, Africa can set its own terms and will reduce exploitation of our resources. We are being more exploited because we don't set the rules. The rules are being set by those who are in power. And those who are in power are the whites, the supremacy, the European Union, the BRICS. They're the one who are setting rules. We are being exploited because we don't set the prices of our natural resources. We are being exploited because they are the one who knows how the market is, who are setting the pace of the market. Our products or our resources, they lack value while they are here. They only get value when they are outside here. That's we having this all exploitation in Africa. If we work without European Union, if we work without BRICS, if we work without Russia, China, if we work without USA, France, we will avoid exploitation. When we work as Africa, we work without these Western blocs. We'll have something we call political sovereignty, political freedom, political stability. You will ask me, how will we have political stability and yet right now we are working with them and yet we don't have political stability? I will tell you this. Africa will have a greater control over its politics without external pressure from the powerful blocs. France has been pressing hard on countries in West Africa. Britain or USA have been pressing hard for the countries here, mostly in East Africa, creating rules for us, controlling the laws that we make in our countries. It is so sad that we as a country, for example, as Kenya as a country, it's so sad that we cannot make our own rules and laws and follow them. Laws are being made by those powerful blocs. Most of Western countries, their laws are being made by France. It is sad that we are being controlled politically. We lack what we call political sovereignty because of the interference from the powerful or these Western blocs like USA, France, and etc. etc. Now, under political sovereignty, we could have a focus on regional collaboration, which could foster stronger unity among African countries. Right now, African countries, we don't have that unity. Kenya and Tanzania, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and Nigeria, we don't have that stability because the powerful blocs, they fear us to unite. They don't want us to unite because once we unite, we'll have to talk this one language. Once we unite, we will have the collaboration to bring a lot of benefit to our people. Once Sudan and South Sudan unite, war will end. And when war ends, there is things cannot be done or cannot happen from the other side. You know what I mean? So Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso cannot unite because when it unites, France will not get opportunity to come in Africa. France will not be here in Africa. Once Ghana and Burkina Faso, Ghana and Niger unite, France will not have access to Africa. And that's what they fear. When we work without European Union on BRICS, we'll have political sovereignty, political freedom, and countries within Africa will come together, we'll collaborate to increase, benefit economic increase and more so. Unity is strength, and that's what they don't want us to work with. They don't want these African countries to unite. You will see South Africans are fighting with Zimbabweans because they are saying these are migrants coming to our countries, taking our jobs. They are happy when these things are happening. When we work without European Union or without BRICS, we'll have something we call technological and industrial development. This is because most of it, our brains will not go outside. A self-reliant Africa could invest in local research and development, fostering homegrown technology solution tailored to its needs. When we talk about technology and industrial development, first of all, when I come here in technology, we have a lot of African youths who are, they have knowledge, technological, they can do something, but these brains are going outside because in Africa, they don't want this to happen in Africa. They just don't want Africa to have these good brains. That's why you see if someone in Africa come up with something, create something, innovate something, he's being shut down, he's being taken. You will not hear about him again. We have a lot of people who have built aeroplanes. In Kenya, we had someone who built an helicopter. Where is he now? We don't see that brain in Kenya. We have some people in Tanzania, we have a youth who built a car. But they will put rules and laws to make sure that your dream is shattered. But when we work without them, we will control what we do here in Africa. Now, reducing dependence from external forces or external powers could promote African values, culture, and systems, empowering citizens with pride and unity. When they come here, France, when they are here, Europe, when they are here, Britain, when they are here, they are forcing their culture onto us. Look, for example, France. You will talk French. Even to court, we wear the wigs of the colony. We forget our culture. We forget our pride as African countries. This is because of their presence here. Their presence here is making it difficult for upcoming generation to be on the right track. Now, we have a generation that is coming that praises LGBTQ. But during that time, LGBTQ was not praised, was seen as sin, was seen like something so bad. But right now, simply because we have these foreign powers in our countries and they are implementing their laws here, now LGBTQ is common everywhere. Is common everywhere, and that is against our African culture. You see, if we work without them, our culture will be sustained. We will not ruin our culture. Working without them could make Africa adopt sustainable resource management practice, ensuring long-term benefits without exploitation by foreign powers. When we talk about environmental sustainability, we talk about illegal mining. We're going to talk about a lot of things that are happening. Exploitation. When you exploit more, you damage the environment. So when we work without them, I think we can regulate this environment and climatic change. When we work without them again, we can reduce the debt dependence by limiting reliance on foreign loans. Africa could avoid debt traps and allocate resources to critical sectors like education, health, and infrastructure. We cannot allocate resources on health because we are paying loans. We cannot allocate resources on education because we are paying loans. We cannot build roads, countries, because we are paying these loans. And these loans came as a trap. You are being given IMF. You are being given rules, laws to follow, what you need to do with that money. And yet we were told, or we know, Africa was designed to be poor. It is designed to be poor. That's why they are forcing or they are trapping us with these loans. So when they get a corrupt leader, when they get a leader who just think of his stomach, we will suffer a lot. Again, when we work without them, we'll have local currency strengthening, because when we add value to our resources, when we control the price of our resources, when we allocate money for infrastructure, education, and health, it will affect our local currency positively, because it will increase, it will strengthen. But because we are not united and we are working with their dollar, our local currency cannot surpass them. So working without Europe, working without BRICS can happen and will be of a lot benefit to us because we will have something we call food security. And when we focus on agriculture as African countries without interference from the foreign powers, we can come up with how to tackle food insecurity in Africa. But when I see these parliaments, for example, Kenyan parliament, I see the laws that are being implemented is to make a local farmer to suffer and to make we have a primary and a consumer and secondary. A primary farmer is suffering. A secondary farmer who is a businessman is getting a lot. He's gaining more, simply because they have put laws to make sure that this local farmer is not becoming rich from this. Okay? So when we as African countries, we avoid working with them, working with BRICS, working with Europe, will benefit more. We'll have good infrastructure. We'll have food security, unless we just get a corrupt leader. But foreign powers in Africa has caused a lot of damage than positive sides. I know there is positive sides. They may say they brought this, they brought that, they brought this. But when we look at negative, it is more, because foreign powers has led to a lot of conflicts in Africa. See a country like Congo. Congo is suffering, Congo is bleeding because we have the princes of France there, princes of other Portuguese, name all these foreign powers who are there. And you think they are here to help. They are here to trap us with loans. They are here to exploit us. They are here to make sure that the youths of Africa, they are suffering. They are here to make sure the future of Africa is going down. We celebrate the unity of Africa. We celebrate Africa having friends like Russia and China, but we are not looking forward for us not to depend from them. It's good we need to have friends, but good friends. Now, let's dive into this of negative side effects of us not working with the European Union or with the BRICS. Side effects of Africa not having friends from the Western Bloc. And when we don't work with them, it can cause a lot of things like economic disruption, development setbacks. It can cause diplomatic isolation, internal challenges, financial instability, technological and knowledge dependence, environmental and security concern, short-term social trends, etc., etc. When you talk about economic disruption, it is like loss of trade partners. We need these friends so that we can do business with them. It's like a supermarket. We have the products, you are the customer, but we need them to be equal. Europe and BRICS represent major market for African exports. Severing ties could lead to reduced trade revenues, especially for resources dependent economies. We need them for them to be our customers. We need them for them to assist us in, we have the products, you need to buy the products. But doing that does not mean that they need to control our market. They need to control price. We need to be united so that we can be strong. And if you are coming to buy, come and buy. Don't bring your military bases here. Don't come and start war here. We don't need you here. We need you as a client, as a customer. Without partnership, Africa may face challenges in securing the foreign investment necessary for large-scale infrastructure and industrial projects. Without working with the European Union or BRICS, we may force to live without foreign investments. Now, many African countries depend on imports. We know that many African countries depend on imports of finished goods and technology from these blocs. Disengaging from them could disrupt essential supply chain. And that's why we are not saying they are bad people. They are friends of Africa. What we are saying is we need to find friends who we have a balanced business. And that's why you see a lot of African countries are going for BRICS. Because France has made us suffer. UK has made us suffer. America has made us suffer. But when you see China, we see Russia, we see India, we see Brazil, we see future of Africa. These are countries that they are doing legit business with Africa. These are countries that we think will benefit a mere citizen of Africa without exploiting us. When we talk about development setbacks, we talk about African countries that rely in development assistance from the AU or BRIC members. Now, a sudden cutoff could create budgetary gaps for critical sectors like health, education, and infrastructure. And when we focus on that, we will not cut off ourselves from them because we believe they will bring this thing to us. What we need to do, we need to start slowly, like what Burkina Faso has done. Look for new friends who you will do business with them. Get 50-50. You are getting resources, we are getting technology. You are getting this, we are getting this, that from you. We don't have this, we want this from you. And if we do that, time with time, our currency will grow, will be strong, and within no time, you can cut off yourself from them so that they can be the one who are looking for us, not us looking for them. They can be the one as European Union, all the presidents of Europe coming to Africa so that they can ask for resources from Africa. They can beg Africans just to release the resources to them. We talk about financial instability. So we talk about technology and knowledge dependence because when you see Russia has this technology, improved technology, and we are looking onto them to get knowledge. When you look at China, they have this advanced technology. Us as Africans, we are looking at them so that we can get something from them. We have negative sides of Africa connecting themselves from European Union or from BRICS. But my say is, it's not that we need to disconnect ourselves from them. We need to look at them and tell them, if you are here, let us do legit business. Because you cannot control a grocery store how they will set their price. Grocery store set their price for themselves. You as a buyer, you come there and buy what you want to buy, unless you want to bargain. Let's have this equality of how we work with these blocks. Yes, we can work without them. But again, we need friends so that we can export our goods, we can import finished raw materials, we can access to improved technology so that Africa can grow again. And let me tell you, there's a reason why European Union is here, why BRICS is coming in Africa. There's a reason why they cannot or they can never leave Africa, even if they say Africa is poor. They know what they are getting from this soil of motherland. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Do you think Africa can work without BRICS, without European Union? If it can, how do we start it? Until next episode, peace be with you.